don't even know.
Hello.
Hey Megan, how are you?
Good.
I have a quick question. Is there any way you can send me a copy of my last year's lease in the email? Okay, great.
It should just show up in your resident portal.
Maybe I don't know where to look.
It'll be in your, like when you're looking, you just logged in and you're looking at the top right, it'll have like a documents tab and then your profile little clicky button. It's that documents tab.
Okay, I'll go look at it.
Yeah, that one should show on there. I have it to show on your resident portal.
The old one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. I have a question. You were talking about the grass yesterday because you didn't give me a response back in regards to, you said that it's something that it was done as a courtesy, and I had asked, is it something that's been a courtesy, the conception of my lease, because they've mowed it the entire time that I've lived here?
Previously, yes, just like how you used to get the old rate for the trash and pest control, that was while you were through that lease. So you didn't get it until the new lease when you renewed the new amounts. Same thing with the lawn. So
That wasn't reflected in there though, you know? It didn't say that, well, it was a part of it when I went back and read it, but I guess it just throws me off because they're gonna cut the front but not the back, so who's responsible for the part beyond the fence, which is not my property?
If it's on our side of the land,
Right.
they are.
Okay.
We are.
So they're
And if
gonna
it's-
cut that but not behind the gate?
Right. All residents are responsible for their backyards. So every new person that's moved in, they sign the same thing and they're fully aware that they have to do their backyards as well.
Okay. Has Arnold spoken with you? I left a message for him the other day through Maria. I think it was Monday, but I've not had a return phone call.
I've talked to him different times, but not about you.
Okay.
Besides that one time about the first complaint, and we talked about that, and I got a copy of that email of what you said to Maria, and then, when he talked to you after.
Yeah, I've left him a message. I didn't know if he had spoken with you. I had a couple of questions, and no one's returned my phone call, so I wasn't sure.
No, we talked a few times. Besides that, like I said, after the Maria.
I have a question. Did you know that, like the 60-day term notice thing, legally by law, you all have 60 plus 5 days to notify me of a price increase, which would have been
Correct.
back in November?
But seeing as how the new company took over, which is why I say if you were going to give a 60-day notice right now, we would honor that because that's what you're supposed to have per your lease.
Correct. But I'm talking about in regards to increases, because it's the same via increase that you have to give me, even with the new company taking over, it would have had to been something that would have been advised under is it Block before? Who was it before?
They stopped doing the renewals at December. Per the new company, they didn't want us working on the renewals for January and February because they needed to do their business plan, aka pro forma, of what they projected that they would make, which is their increases per monthly per resident.
Wow. Are they familiar with the law?
I'm pretty sure they are.
Wow.
But that would be a question.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Is there someone over Arnold that I can speak with? Because I've actually, because I felt really pressured, to be very honest with you, to do my lease. Like it came across like you have two weeks to do this. So I felt like it was done under a distress type of moment because, of course, I wouldn't have had time in 2 weeks to find somewhere to stay, plus give you, almost $2,400 to move out. It felt like a moment of distress. So I'm trying to figure out definitely, what are the different sanctions. And so as I've been talking to people, just doing my due diligence, the law, actually says that the 60 days plus 5, which is 65 days, which would have taken me back to November to reflect my price increase for the
No, I
term of my
completely
lease had I done
understand
it.
what you're saying,
And
as
they've
well
not
as the
done
lease.
that, so yeah.
But being a new company that's taking over that just bought it, then
Right.
they have all the right to do so, which is why they would have honored 60 days for you.
Wow, they misguided that, but I'm working on different directions and paths for that anyway. So the yard is now my responsibility.
Yes.
And who's over Arnold? Because I've not received a phone call, and I felt targeted, the fact that, you know, you kind of referenced that you had told him about me, and I was like, you told him about me, you told this dude down the hall about me, you know, so it's just, I was
didn't tell
tripping.
any residents about you, nor did I actually racially discriminate against you.
Well,
I'd
what is
hope
his
that you
name?
never feel that, but
Traquan or Traquella, whatever, when he stopped outside of my house one day, he was like, yeah, I asked Megan about you, and she told me, you know, you were in the funeral business. I was like, remember I came in here and said that to you that day? I was like,
I remember we
I
talked
felt
about
uncomfortable
that, but
with
I know
that.
several residents also talk to each other. So it's not always me, and I don't like to talk to other residents about other residents,
Right.
but nor would I ever. And I
Well,
wouldn't
I'm
want
just
you
saying,
to feel the way
yeah.
that being racially discriminated, because I myself being a mixed person and most of my family being that way as well, it kind of felt like it was false. But I mean, you're more than welcome to feel however you
Right.
feel, but I would never do that to you, or for that to be said.
I'm just saying
really not fair.
that's what he said to me when he stopped. He said, I asked Megan about you. Remember I came down and I said, Megan, he said he
I
asked you
understand that,
about
but
me,
you
so.
told them that I racially discriminated.
Well, I
against you.
told them, I don't remember saying racially discriminated against me. I said, I feel as if, I'm not sure what they said to you, but I said, I feel as if I have been, I felt as if my information should not have been forwarded out because you have another resident. I said, Megan stated to me that she stated to you, Arnold, well, because you said in conversation, you said, well, I've already told, you know, them about you. And I was like, remember I said, what did you tell them? And you just stopped. So I was like, then I said, so it's just like Taquan or whatever the hell his name is out there. It's just like him. I said, he said that he asked about me, he inquired about me, and you told him what I did for a living. So that's what I was saying. So I never said I was racially profiled. Trust me, being a mulatto person, which is a multicultural person, does not give you the grounds to say that you are racially profiled. That is when you attack me personally towards me being a black woman. Not a mixture of what my nationalities are. Racially profiling goes different ways. You know, I deal with this junk all the time. However, that's what I said to them. I'm not sure what they communicated back to you because that's them talking to you and me talking to them, but I'm telling you the conversation, and that's what I said. I said, I feel as if my information shouldn't have been given to anybody because I don't know anybody who lives on this end other than Jake and them. And Jalapeno.
Well,
I don't
just
even know
hope
her
that
whole damn
even with
name.
That being said, that you
Right.
never feel that I would ever do that to you.
No, I've never
Or
said that I
anyone.
was racially profiled. You've never called me anything outside of Angela.
Right.
So if you feel racially profiled against me, you've never expressed it. I simply said that I did not like the fact that we have a stranger that I didn't know, and it made me feel uncomfortable because this guy is like, yeah, I've been seeing you, and I was making about you, and I was like, who the hell are you? I'd never seen him until he stopped that day, and I happened to be outside because Hector was fixing the garage, remember? So I thought he was talking to Hector because I had no idea who it was. And he said, do you mind if I ask you a question? Like this is your black car? I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I asked Megan about you. I was like, what? I said, well, what did you ask her? That's the only reason I know what he said. And I was like, I did say to them, I felt uncomfortable because I'm a single person living in a home by myself. And so in my mind, anybody just coming up is asking information, they can freely dearly get it, of which I would hope that wouldn't be the case.
And
but
it's not. I
I'm
literally
just-
just said
right,
you were Angela
right.
because he's seen you drive the hearse.
He'd never seen my hearse in here because I actually asked him. I said, have you seen me? Do
Brandon
you know
asked
what
me
all
the
I
same
do?
thing.
Who is Brandon?
You know who Brandon is. You work
Actually,
with
I
him,
don't.
Brandon from 58. That you asked about his apartment.
Oh, Brandon knows all about me. We
I
work
know,
together.
But they also know each other too. And
Okay,
he's also
yes,
seen
no.
you, and all I said was.
Yeah, Brandon and I have a contract
my
together right
point
now,
is
so
I
yeah,
hope
so
you
he
would-
knows
I
me.
know, he told me.
Yeah.
I just hope you would never feel that you were racially discriminated against because I would never do that nor treat people like that.
Well,
So
most
when I was
definitely.
told that and read the transcript of your complaint with
I'll have to
Maria,
request a copy of that then because I never once said to Maria.
They talk to you and send an email to notify me of complaints.
Correct.
That, just same thing
Steps.
with Jessica.
Umbrellas.
You know, they
Yeah,
let
it's-
us know the
they have to.
complaint,
Yeah, they
because
have to.
They have to talk to us and
Right,
see
right.
what's the next
I'm gonna
step.
request a copy of that because I never once said that you racially profiled me, and Maria has been very kind. Like, when I've spoken to her, she's very kind, she's very diligent. She appears to be very understanding.
Yeah.
So I did not say that to her, so thank you for telling me that, because as a resident,
Well, I just
if
don't
you
want you to feel
have,
like I would treat you
well,
that
no,
way.
because, and if they
'Cause we may
communicated
disagree
that,
sometimes.
but if they
on certain
communicated
things,
that,
I
then,
still want to have good customer service
Right.
with you. And I've never said anything bad to you,
Right.
regardless if you yelled at me, hung up on me.
but I
I'm still
told you my
always there.
Bluetooth was not working. Hector can tell you, he was in my house the very same day, and people couldn't hear me. Like, I bought 2 Bluetooths that same day since then. You didn't get hung up on. My Bluetooth stopped working.
Actually
That's why I
asked you on
called
the
you
second
back and
phone
was
call.
like, I'm not hanging up on you, Megan, my Bluetooth died. And it's kind of like if they're telling you, it's what I told Arnold. I said, I'm off on Monday, so I know I wouldn't have no bad day.
Yeah.
But I know what Hector and I understood. And I even asked my friends, because I even communicated, like, I got to make sure I'm home at 9:30. And they were like, you said, I was like, I know they told me 9:30. I was just at Target.
This is his signature that says 9 a.m. right
Yeah,
here.
then
So
that was
that's-
a miscommunication totally, but I just felt like that day that, because I answered the phone like, hey, Hector. Like, I didn't answer the
Yeah.
phone ugly, like, I
Yeah.
knew it should have been Hector, and you were like, no, it's Megan, and you're not home, and I'm like,
No, but I was so,
I'm not
like, I don't
supposed
think you
to
get
be
it.
home
I was
right now.
super calm, and I did never raise my voice at you. I continuously asked you, and just like this.
Megan,
So
let me
do
tell you
want
something.
Hector to
Let
go
me tell you
down there
something.
too?
My phone has an auto record. If I played it for you, I think, because sometimes people say that you're not familiar with.
That's fine, but
Well, wait a minute.
I
Let me
remember
just
Hector
finish telling you what I'm
raising his
saying.
voice, and I didn't.
No, Hector didn't even raise his voice.
Yes, he did.
Here it is. You have, sometimes we're not aware when our voice fluctuates, and which means maybe you don't realize you raised it, but the tone came out differently. I've been told the same thing. I've been told I'm very facially expressive.
Yeah.
I've been told that. So those are things that I work on when I'm talking to people. I try and listen to you. I try and ensure that I'm having dialogue. I try and make sure that I'm not going above what you're saying. I try and stay right here. And that morning, that's when I'm like, is she having a bad morning? I didn't
See,
even
I wasn't. I
do
talked
anything.
just like
And-
I am right now.
And the only thing Hector said was, Angela,
I
you
spoke
did
up.
say 9. And I was like,
And I
Hector, no,
spoke
we
over
said
him
9:30.
To get back to you.
Right.
So I think just going back to the
Mhm.
9:30 thing, I think just to make it easier,
Mhm.
I know you like to be home. That box is literally for you. That box is shoe covers, and I know you said that he
Megan,
wore
I
it.
can tell
I
you
know you
something.
said
Wait
that
a
he
minute.
wore it from the office.
If I
Let's
could-
just get back down to this.
But listen to this,
That-
that shoebox cover should be good, because you know what, my neighbors, I wish they could have been home today, because you know what their front door was for like an hour and a half? Girl, we got bugs and everything outside,
Okay,
close
so
people's
Angela, I
doors.
don't want to talk about that
You know?
other stuff. What I want to say is that box is for you. I know you told Arnold that he wore them from here all the way down, so
Which is
I'll make
actually
sure that
true.
he puts them on in front of you.
Well, I'm gonna
And
allow
I
you
think-
entry into my home, because now I have cameras, so if there's no
That's fine.
shoe covers on, then we'll be able to identify. I just think for protection purposes, if you look at the OSHA guidelines.
No, okay,
You
I
know.
get that, but okay, so we're going past what I want to do. This is always for you.
Mhm.
I'll make sure he does it in front of you.
Mhm.
As for the times, I know you like to be home.
I don't have to be, I got
So-
cameras, I'll let you in, as long as I take my deadbolts off, because it's always on, I leave it on all
Okay,
the
so if
time.
you do ever
Mhm.
decide to, that
Mhm.
you have to be home, I think we should do a dead set time, that no matter what, it's either gonna be 9 a.m. every single time, never change the time, or 9:30, whatever y'all decide, so we
Mhm.
never have a question, was it 9 a.m., 9:30, what was
Well,
it?
no.
This will just
Yeah,
always
I'm gonna
be
let you
9
in, because I did thoroughly read through, I had my lease thoroughly read through, that's why I have questions that I can ask you. I'm gonna let you in, but in letting you in, there are things that still have to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the time you had to come down and clean up behind him.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Right.
That's not your job. So that's my thing too. I shouldn't have to be home to babysit you to make sure you pick up.
I get that.
Or I shouldn't have to move all of my paper towels or tissue out of my bathroom to make sure that you don't clean up. Those are
Yeah.
things you should come with.
I get that.
As they're upgrading this company and they're doing different things, they have to, you can't just increase things, you have to increase your level of customer service. That's all this is customer service. And that they're not doing. So again, who do I speak, because I've not spoken with Mr. Arnold. I would like to definitely speak with him, so maybe, I'm sure Maria gave him my message from Monday. It took 2 phone calls the last time to get a return call, so I don't want to call a second time because I definitely don't want to seem like a nuisance. But in speaking with, persons, they did state that the 60-65 is a rule. I'll go back, since you're saying now it was a fact that you all were told not to do this because of the transfer. I don't know that that stands legally in regards to that TAA contract that you have assigned, which is a part of your affiliation that you all are part of. So I'll go back and do I'm just trying to do all of my due diligence. Because even if I wanted to move, I wasn't given enough time to move. But had that went out, they told me it should have went out in November, reflecting the new rate change, I would have had time.
Like we've always done, is we send it out ahead of time, like last year, but this is why.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're more than welcome
Yeah,
to,
so-
and just know that even with that increase, that's not coming from me.
Oh, no, I told you before, you take too much ownership
I know.
for something that you're an employee of. I told somebody today, there's no benefit in owning your own fleet, because it means when it's 48 degrees, you gotta wash it.
But I just
So-
want you to know, so that rate isn't.
No, and I
based
know
on
that,
me,
I've
all
done
that.
so much due diligence. There's no cap for Texas. I'm working on that too, because I had no idea there was no cap, because I've lived here. Like, actually, I could pull all of my contracts until you all start going live and tell you what you're saying about property, the market value, and tell you that if that's what market value is today, you've been behind for a long, long time. I can tell you when it was 13.25. And there
No, I
was
know, I
a
have
bunch
all of your
of, there was a
leases.
bunch of years ago, so, but I've never had
But keep in mind also, the market rent does change.
right,
The companies reserve the right to hike it up, lower it down, keep the same. They
Right.
reserve the right to do
right.
that.
And that's one of the things I had for Arnold too, because on the thing that you gave me, it didn't give me a difference if I signed a 6-month or a year lease. It was just
That
a
was,
flat.
no, because that was all they're offering right now, it's 12 months. That's
Right.
not just for you, that's.
Oh, because it was
for
on
everyone.
there, and it says 6
Yeah.
months this,
Yeah,
12 months
but
this.
it
I'm
says
like,
it
what
ain't
is it?
all of them. But
I'm
no,
like-
that's for everybody. Everyone that's had because I haven't even been able to work on March right now. All of them are just 12-month offers. It's either 12-month or month-to-month.
So
So
they
it's
took,
not just you.
when did they take possession of this property?
December 17th.
December 17th. So the persons that are coming up in March technically are, just say the people coming up in April should be getting their notices now in order for them to comply. Because at some point, they've got to comply with the 65-day. You know what I'm saying? So they should, whatever increases are going to come, they have to be on the doors now. That way you
No, I
give,
get what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
So,
literally what I
and,
do, but-
and that's where the twist comes for them, because
Right,
you
'cause
can't
they
enforce
reserve
it
the
now,
right to.
and you can't not enforce it. They didn't do all their due diligence, and I hate it for them, because as you said, I would get a what?
You would get honored the 60 days if you.
Nuh-uh. What'd you say when you said that day? You said they have the right to,
Oh, they have the right to renew,
not
not
renew.
renew,
And you
increase,
said I would get a
not
what?
increase. You can be non-renewed.
no, you said I would get an attorney. So I have a lot of friends, and I just ask questions
Oh, yeah,
because,
that's it, I knew you would.
Right, right, because-
No,
because
actually,
fair
you
is
said
fair.
you would get an attorney, you
Yeah.
would drag it out as long as possible.
because fair is fair. Like, I mean, even though Texas has rules, they have rules that are for the renter's rights also. And so even the landlord has to fall within those rules and regulations. And I'll go back and ask. My thing is just asking. My every intention is to build a house, so that is definitely in the works. I just don't have time right now because of my situation, but 1444 is a house note
Yeah,
all day long.
it is.
It's a brand new house, so that's one of the things that hey Rob, let me call you back, okay? Okay, bye. That's one of the things that I'm actually looking at is, I'm looking at that. But it's just been it caught me off guard because
Yeah.
I've never experienced that type of an increase. And then I've never been given enough time to not even move.
Think about it.
Yeah. Had I been given it in November, I didn't know when my lease was up.
Yeah.
I did not know. Had I been given it in November, I would have said, great, I've got time.
Yeah, when you think about it.
But I wasn't given it in November.
I get it, because I'm
Right.
having to give everybody renewals month by month right now.
Well, it is,
I understand that.
it's not a good thing for them. That's all I can say. It's not a good thing. I know that their properties are not from here, but the laws, there's no cap on rent, but there are rights for renters. And because it's on that TAA form, you're part of that, you have to comply with it.
Yeah.
and there's been no complying with it. So I'm gonna figure out how to get my yard cut. Will they be edging it? I guess, what all does the front consist of, so that I'll know and won't have
Front
to
is
ask you that
everything
question?
as normal, the bushes, the mowing, the edging, the shrubs, all that stuff. Just the residents just have to do their own backyards.
Now, they've not really done good at the scrubs, so how often is that done, so I don't have that
I'm actually getting
question?
a new company. Actually, you might remember them. Okay, remember when it was me and Olivia here and we had that really, really good company here? They were called Superior Edge. Well, I'm getting them back as of March 1st. Like, the guys came here to just do like weeds or whatever, and then they're gonna do one final mow. And then the new company starts on March 1st. The new old company.
Okay, and
They
they're
were
gonna,
really, really good.
but how often will they keep our scrubbery cut?
They're way better at doing that.
Okay.
They're way better.
Because, yeah, the other one
This
has
was
not done
before
that.
John was even here.
It's been, Megan,
But
I've
that's
been
a
through
long time.
3 or 4 different management companies
I know.
living here.
You've
so-
been through 4, because
So
I
it's
remember the
just
first
like-
one was CWS and Kim.
It's just, yeah, Kim was who I said, so it's just like, it's ridiculous.
Mosaic and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is just ridiculous, but, okay, long as I know that, I'll get my backyard done. Figure out Brandon's unit is still 2050, huh? Absolutely
Actually, I can't
insane.
even lease it right now.
Absolutely insane. For this property, you can get I looked at a house, it's $290,000, the rent on it wasn't even $20.50.
Oh, Hector pays $900 a month on his house.
You know.
He owns the house.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it was a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2-car garage,
Yeah.
$290,000 home, and the rent wasn't gonna be $20.50. It's gonna stay vacant, or guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna move in and move out. Their turnover, and that's what I said, they didn't take any concessions to people who've lived here.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I think is the first time this has happened. People who have lived here, myself, Coach, Miss Elaine, you go up on those older people, $240, they gotta move, because they're on Social Security. So it's like you're not just only price gouging, but you're running out. You found a way to reinvent it and push the old ones out,
Yeah.
but the old ones are what's kept you going. Not the new ones, it's the old ones. So I think they made a bad move, but I don't make their business decisions, but they'll end up, CalCap will sell within the next 2 years because it won't give them the money that they want.
Yeah.
And their turnover rate is gonna be high. I pray for you at that point, because then they'll pinpoint it back to you. You
I'm
know,
usually the face of everyone getting mad anyway.
it is what it is. Thank you so much.
All right, have a good day.
Uh-huh. I can't see. Hey, Rob. Hey, Rob. Boy, it ain't gonna be no slaving.